can't change the past, but you can change your future, and you have to start by being in the present moment now. Now, despite this being common knowledge, many people still struggle to fully embrace the present, but the present moment shapes our future experiences and our actions. This video in large was inspired by me watching this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once, which by the way is a really good movie. I highly recommend watching it. And I'm gonna circle back to a lot of my points that I'm gonna make in this video to being in the present moment and what the importance of that is. And I wanna do this by addressing the common fear and misconceptions that are related to decision making in the now. It's very natural for us to worry about the long-term consequences of a decision. You may even get analysis paralysis, where you're overthinking so much that it's actually affecting your ability to take any action or make any progress. Like, it's very natural to worry about long-term consequences of your decisions, but when you overthink that, then you're completely stepping away from the power that you hold in the present moment, and you're letting your thoughts, your abstract thinking, take over the present moment. You have to break free from the societal expectations that have been placed on you, and you got to challenge the traditional way of thinking and societal pressure. Like, society says that you have to pick a path and then stick with it, but I ask, why limit yourself? Why not embrace the unknown and find your true calling, right? So let's say you found some sort of career path that you wanted to try, and you went to school for that. It doesn't mean that you're locked in to that one path for the rest of your life. A lot of people get analysis paralysis in this type of situation, and they'll hit me up and say something like, hey man, I really don't know what I want to be doing with my life. I think I kind of want to try this thing or that thing, but they're choosing to stay in the secure position of where they are now, rather than taking this moment and deciding that they can actually change their outcome in their future if they chose to do something about it now. Because thinking about it and thinking about what they did in the past and how that worked out and gaining security and comfort from that is holding you back in the present moment from making the decision that's going to actually change your life in the future. So I really want you to recognize that just because you're pursuing some education or you're in a career path, it does not lock you in to that path for the rest of your life. You have to recognize that you have a unique path, and accepting that other people will not understand your decisions, because only you have to believe in your vision and your actions. And if you're trying to do something non-traditional, like a career path that your parents don't really approve of, you're going to look stupid to the world for a while until you get somewhere with it. But remember, only you have to believe in what you're doing and understand that people will not get what you're doing and why you're doing that, because they don't see the same vision that you see. So when we learn something new, or we decide that we're going to learn something new, you have to then start taking action, because the decision has already been made. Now, this action that you take might be silly, it might be stupid, it might not be understood by others, like I said, but if this is the stepping stone that you need to be your launching pad for whatever it is that you're trying to do next, then the only person that all this matters to is you. You've already chosen that you're going to do something right now in this moment, so now you got to see it through. Otherwise, you won't get where you're trying to go. So if you're finding yourself stuck in this sort of analysis paralysis of overthinking, which is making it harder for you to make a decision, just remember this: if you keep letting that fear hold you back from making a decision, you're missing out on all these opportunities that you have for yourself in your future by not deciding right now. Now, one of the topics in this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, is about accessing another version of you that exists in the multiverse out there. Now, I think we can all learn something really cool from that, which is that you have different personas, and each of your different personas have unique strengths, and you can use them to your advantage and become unstoppable. Whatever you believe your weaknesses are, another version of you exists in another universe, in your thoughts, in your projections. Another version of you exists that has all those as strengths. Whatever your weaknesses are their strengths. And anytime that you want to reach a new level of awareness, a new level of health or wealth or different status, it requires you to first take action in the present moment. And one of the things we saw in the movie was, when you're doing something that is not normal for you, it's going to require you to embrace this unusual experience and challenge yourself to grow in the moment. Because what you're doing at that moment, when you're doing something that you're uncomfortable with, that you haven't done before, you're accessing new levels of skills, a new level of awareness that is requiring you to uncover in the present moment this new version of yourself. And that may be unconventional. Like in the movie, we see them doing all these weird things, like giving themselves a paper cut or whatever, right? So I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but I'm saying if you take that abstraction and apply it to your real life, you understand that your present moment decisions are going to shape your reality and unlock your potential. And you can unlock and act differently and act like the person that you want to be and act that out in the present moment. And while you're doing that, in that process, you are unlocking a new version of yourself. Let's talk about managing your distractions. Distractions and emotions can only control you if you let them. And when you're present, you have a chance of taking control, because there are no distractions anywhere else in the world but in the present moment. They can only come up now and then take you away. How aware you are of this when you experience all kinds of thoughts and emotions all day long, it dictates how distracted you are. A lot of our distractions involve thinking of something in the past that may have happened so that you feel secure, because it's something that you're familiar with. You're familiar with it because you've experienced it over and over in your head. And being in the present is actually uncomfortable for so many of us, because we realize the power that we hold in our own hands as we sit here right now, understanding that we can actually do something that we haven't done before. And that scares a lot of people. So it's much more comforting to get distracted by your own thinking, or go get high and feel a variety of emotions and thoughts, all that are taking you away from the present moment. So the antidote to distraction is recognizing it and then setting an intention as to what it is you're trying to do. The intention doesn't have to be all serious every time, but the intention is the moment that you take in the present to define the story that you tell yourself as to what you're doing right now and why. So don't let the word intention become something like, I've got to save the world. It doesn't have to be that big. So for example, I'm sitting down right now. In this 30 minutes, my intention is to sort out my notes and make this outline so that I can do this video later on. That's it. It's clear, it has a start and a finish, and it allows my distracted mind to then tune in to what I'm trying to do with my environment and my time right now. Everything else that I have to do can wait, because I've made it very clear to myself what my intention right now for the next 30 minutes is. Now, every single time that you sit down and you have to do something and see it through, you have potential in your hands. And it's stressful sometimes if you get caught in this loop of, man, what should I do? Is this the right thing for me to be doing? What else could I be doing right now? And when that happens, if you don't know how to get yourself to calm down and stay on task, then this is where a lot of people get anxiety, like let's say on an exam or during a presentation at work, because then they can't focus and they are creating this pressure in their head where it feels like it's a performance anxiety or an imposter syndrome, where you just have no idea how to get yourself back to the present moment. So remember that no one really knows what the fuck they're doing in this world. We are all on this planet, and you can do things as good as you can do them right now, and that's good enough for right now. That does not mean that you can't iterate and make it better over time. So that's the real unlock for the anxiety that makes you feel like you have to solve everything everywhere all at once right now. So to recap, set an intention to stay on task will help you deal with the performance anxiety that you have in a high pressure situation, or just in day-to-day life, like taking an exam. So in conclusion, the only true way to overcome your fear and your anxiety is to face it head on, is to embrace the challenge and grow with it. And you can't do any of that anywhere else but now, in the present moment. So I want to just encourage you at the end of this video, if you stuck with me, that means that you are still here right now in the present moment. And I want to tell you that you have a unique path that you get to decide right now what you're going to do that will shape your future. So I hope you found this video really helpful. And if you have anything to share, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.